Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be looking at how we can recreate this flyer I created for a social media handle using CorelDRAW, right? And hopefully we are going to be achieving everything in CorelDRAW. By everything I mean everything. And now the first thing we want to do is create a new page. Since I already have this design on page 1, I'll just add a new page using the plus sign, so we'll have a page 2. And I'll just double click on the rectangle tool. You could create a new document first of all, and then you could name it FLIER or no smoking, so what we are trying to do is this. Let's just scale this up to match. Let's just do 5 by 5. Not that it matters, but so yeah, we have this on this page. So on page 2 we are trying to create it. So the first thing I'll do is to create the background. I like to work my way from the background up to the foreground where we have the text and everything. So for the background, we have to create a background and then the stuff. So to start, we just select this, and the way I created it is I actually did not give any color here. I simply right clicked on this and said frame type, create empty power clip frame. So I turned this into a frame that can hold another object, and to go inside the frame I hold my control and click in, and now I'm inside of the frame. You can see the outlines are now bluish, indicating that you're inside of the box. So in this box, I'm going to double click again and add another box. Now for this other box I've added, I'll just increase it a little bit so it's a bit bigger than the frame. It doesn't matter, we are not going to see the edges. And I'm going to give this a 60-70% grayish color, and right click on that no color thing to remove the outline, or you could do that from the properties bar. The next thing I'll do is I'll just go to effect, and under effect I'll go to noise. Under noise I'll go to add noise, and I'll just add some spikes. I can make it a bit lighter or darker. The noise depends on which color you're using. So in this case, let's just keep somewhere balanced. Let's keep it a bit lighter. So okay, so with this we've added a noise. One thing I like about this effect is you can still change the color if you like. You still make it blue and you still see that it retains the noise, right? And then let's come back outside. So we have this box and we've placed another background inside of it. So the next thing we want to do is we want to import our picture, right? We want to import our picture, so the no smoking picture. So for me, I got this picture from, I think, iStock. You can get it from any of these pictures. You can subscribe to any of their plans and start downloading pictures, or you could always take a picture with your phone. You will grab a cigarette and crush it and then take a picture with your phone, something like this, on a very decent plain background. You could do that with your own hands, right? So just get this picture, drag it into this place, and we have this picture. So for me, I'll just rotate. You can see the background is already out because I already took out the background. You could always do that in CorelDRAW by you could use the trace option to remove the background. If you want to watch how that can be done, I have a video on that already. I'm going to be dropping the link in the description. So you select this and then you reduce the size of this. Make sure you rotate it to match what you're trying to achieve. Well, in this case, it won't be nice if it's just straight. You need to create a perspective, an angle. So just bend it out a bit so it stays at an angle. And then this base is just flat out. We need to kind of like give it make it make sense, right? So I'm going to trim it out, and to do that I'm going to enlist my B-spline tool, and I'm just going to go around it, like from the edge. I just touch on this and just go in, create my circle, just create my curve just the way I want it. I'll go around and join it back here. And if you like if you feel you need to adjust it, you could always double click and adjust to your liking. And you could always adjust it to your liking. There. I think this looks cool. So now you hold shift to select the image and you use your back minus front After you've done that, the next thing you want to do is you want to plant this image on the floor. You could still go to effect and say flatten, so the effect is permanent. And the next thing you want to do is you want to nail this image to the floor, and to create that you need to create some sort of shadows around it, right? So we're going to look at how we can do that right now. So the first thing I'll do is I'll use my rectangle to select like a region here. It's too much, just a bit like that. I think I like the angle of the image the way it is. I think I like the angle, not too bad. So I'll use this box. I'll just do a make sure it's around. I'll just hold shift, select this image and do a duplicate by using the intersect to generate another part of the image. And once I've done that, I'll go to effect, flatten the intersect, go to effect again, and I'll go under adjust. Under the adjust, I'll go to brightness, contrast and intensity, and I can just, oh, it's already set like that, so I will just darken it. It could be, if yours is like this, you just darken the image and increase the contrast or decrease the contrast till it gives you what you want. Reduce the intensity till you get something that is almost black or totally black, and then you're okay. So I'll delete this box I used here, and then for this one I'll just drag it down a bit. I'll just use my arrow buttons and bring it down like one step or twice, and then I'll send it behind. I'll do control page down so it stays behind. Now it casts just a little shadow for me. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to add a second shadow, in this case one that looks like the trailing light shadow, right? So or a hard light shadow. I don't know how to explain that. So I'll just select I'll still use my B-spline, and then I'll go around the edge of the image like so. Just following the edge of the image, I'll just draw out a shadow that goes in the opposite direction to the image, something like this. And remember, you have to backspace. Remember, you have to kind of like end it where the image starts, right? So this plan is very peculiar. It works in a very funny way. You have to have been using it a while to understand it, but it's quite easy to grasp. Once you begin to use it, it's easy to grasp. So once I've done that, I'll just give it a black shade, no much stress, and then I'll go to my effects and I'll say blur, and I'll just give it a little bit of Gaussian blur, just a little. That's too much, a little, like so. I'll say okay, go to the transparency and select this and drag it out from here like so. Now you want to have this area darker and then this area lighter, so for that you need to do something like this. And it's obviously sitting on top of the hand, so you have to send it behind. So hold your control and do page down one. You could do it twice or once, and then it goes behind and it stays there. So right now we are creating a resemblance. You could also still select, notice that it's no longer being able to, you can't even select it easily because it's now down. So you could always just hold the alternate and select it again, and you can mix it with a little bit of brown. Let's take brown from here and apply somewhere, so we'll have it. You can undo that, it doesn't matter. So with this color we select, hold your control and mix it a bit with the brown so it feels like it's the arms. If it's too much, you mix it again with black. Try to find the balance. And I think this looks cool. I think it looks cool. You feel like the shadow is too much, so select it and try to drag it down a bit. Yeah, it's making the arms look like it's open. So one thing you have to notice, its perspective. You could make this place, in a way, we could have made this side come out more and made this side go in more. It could have been a bit rounder, a bit straight from here and rounder to this side. But it doesn't matter, because it's the only way we can solve this is right now is if we try to maybe, do this. And we'll select this one and reduce. Yeah, it still looks a bit like it's out, but it's still fair. So with this, the third one, I want to add the third shadow. The third shadow is quite easy. Use a circle to do that. Use your ellipse tool and create a circle like so. And we can make it maybe black. Move the outline. And we could use our... Let's try the transparency. So select the transparency. We'll go to the properties bar and we use fountain. And under fountain, we select elliptical. Yeah, this works too. So this... we could fade it some more. We could select this one, the white one, the one in the middle that controls the opacity, and make it a bit transparent. And then the ones on the edge is already 100%, so it's cool. And then we can spread it out a bit, and just to kill the edges, we can bring this in a bit, just to kill the edges. Bring this in a bit. And then send it behind, do control page down like that. And that floor has shadow. And with all this, I think we are good for this. And the next thing we want to do is we want to add a no smoking sign, right? I feel like this hand is a bit short because I think we cropped it from a very short place, but it doesn't matter. So let's do our no smoking sign. Select your circle, do a circle around it like so. Give it a very thick outline. Let's try let's say 8. Yeah, 8 looks cool. Now with the outline you've created, do Ctrl Shift Q or just go to object and say convert outline to object and make it an object. Select a line. This time around, let's use the freehand. Just click from here and move it down. Just move down and click again. And give it the same outline. I think we gave it 8. Let's make sure that it enters very well into the shape. So drag it in. Yeah. And then do Ctrl Shift Q. Right. So now both of them are the same. So we're going to send this one behind. So hold this one, do Control page down. But before we even send it behind, let's give it a color. So give it red. But I want this red to have a gradient. So press G. Under that, go to Fountain, Fill, and select this other side that is white and give it a red, only a darker shade. And once you're done, bring it down here like so, and take this one up a bit like this. Just make sure the black is affecting just the minor side. Now we've created it on this, we don't have to do the same thing here. We can just duplicate the effect here. So select this one, right click and drag into this one, release it, and you say copy fill here. Once you copy it, it copies the fill. Yeah, so you can see at this area it's a bit showy, so we can control that by pressing G and see how we could maybe blend it here, and then it's blended. So select this one, do Control page down so it goes behind the arm, and then the hand, and then this one leave it this way. Then we're still going to select something like the B-spline tool and just around here to create a bit of shadow. So we just select that and do this. We'll make it black with a mix of brown. Remove the outline and then go to effect and say blur and do Gaussian blur. Make sure it blurs out a bit like so and say okay, then send it behind. I'm trying to shift it out a bit, and then do Control page down, take it behind so it stays behind. It feels like this line is casting a shadow across the arm, right? And so with this whole thing done, I think we are good for that. Yeah, we are good for that. There's also a light effect, but we can add that later. So select this whole thing, you could group it, and we could just maybe make it bigger a bit. And right click and say power clip inside the box. And that way it's inside the box, it's more controlled there. And come back outside. I feel like my box, I feel like this color should be darker, so select it and give it 80% black. And let's go back outside, yeah. And there we've added our image, which is more like the most important thing right here. Not the most important, everything is important, but this is cool. And so the next thing we want to do is to add some extras. We want to add our text, so we just go with our text to hit caps lock and say no smoking. Let's just do no smoking. Let's leave the day. Let's put no smoking here. Don't have to do the same thing. And then let's just grab a font like intro, which is really nice. I've been using intro a lot recently. And let's close up the space between them a bit. And let's make this big, drag it. And now let's make it imposing. So Ctrl K and then select the no and make it really imposing. So people know they don't have to smoke, right? Because sometimes the way you present the message actually determines how they read it. If you make it feel like this, though, if you're making it like this, it feels like you're trying to impose it on people. Ain't that the truth? So we could right click here and remove the outline and then have no smoking and make it white. And then I want to add something to the no, the line from here and then into here. And let's take in the outlines. Let's try 16. Yeah, I think 16 matches the energy. And then let's do Ctrl Shift Q again and then turn it to white, right? And we could just duplicate that same one and reduce the size and take it to the little one here. No smoking. So we have this no smoking here, and it could be like a sign. We could group it, Ctrl G, and then we could center it. When we center it, you select it, hold Shift, you select the box, and press C. So it centers, right? So we have no smoking. You could indicate other forms of other things that could be smoked that could not be smoked. You could say no smoking. You could say shisha. You could put an X, really loud. You could say marijuana or Mary Jane. Did I spell it well? You could put an X. You could say cigar. Reds. You can put another X. You could say cigar. Put another X. You could say tobacco. Let's leave it at those 6, right? I mean, we could smoke all this once. I'm trying to make a message anyways. So let's reduce the size to something that can go there. Let's say 10. Let's use something like Nexa. Let's try Nexa heavy. And no smoking now. It looks like maybe it's too big, but no problems. And let's just kill the color a bit. Since this is white, let's use 20% of black and paste the message here. Let's break this one into 2 lines. Let's put an X at the end of the tobacco as well. Let's center it. So click and press C. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to shift this one a bit to the bottom. Probably just reduce a bit, bring it down a bit like so. Select this, hold Shift, select this and press center. I think they are all centered already to the box. And what else do we have? Let's create an X sign here. So to create the X sign, just any box shape is okay. And then select it again and hold Control and just bend it two times, maybe once. Select it, press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, then go to your properties bar and flip it horizontally, right? And then you have your X. Select both of them and use your weld under your properties bar to weld it to make it join together. And there you have your X. You can use a pure black for that, and you can maybe tilt it, rotate it a bit. You can have a circle, another small circle somewhere with a thick outline, maybe like 2 or 3, right? And right click and make the outline maybe a lighter shade of this. Or you could still go black, or you could go white. Maybe just go black. Let's see what we have here. We have something like this. We're not doing that. So I think we just do this and let's have black. And then what else are we adding? Yeah, a bit of light. With portraits, you need to create a focus, right? So we need to add like a streak of light coming from behind the arms. So we have to go inside the box to do that, since we've power clipped this shape inside. So to go inside the box, you can select the box and then click on edit here. It's always there automatically, or you could just click on it and then let's just select the B-spline. It's getting handy, it's becoming more handy these days. So you just do around the shape like so, around the arms, just create a bit of a halo. Maybe you shouldn't get all the way down there, and just make it white or a grayish color and remove the outline. And then go to your effects, go to blur again. You see we use this a lot, right? And do Gaussian blur, and this time around spread it out a bit. That should be okay. Then do control page down so it goes behind, but you can see it's very, very bright, right? So we can either use a blend mode, like let's say overlay, or we can just use our transparency to kill the color. So rather than overlay, let's just say normal and use transparency to kill the colors a bit, so it becomes bearable like that. And you could spread it out a bit by extending it, extending it like that. You could also make it kill the color some more by mixing it with a darker color by holding control. So let's try with 70% black. Yep, I think I like it just fine like this. Spread out a bit. And there we have that. So no smoking with this. And what else is there to add? Yeah, you could add the name of your company you're designing this for. And there's one last detail. You can see the edges here, they look a bit fine. And then this guy here, for this guy here, we're going to use, it's just a streak, it's just something to make it a bit busy. So you want to do that, you can use something like your artistic media tool, select a very nice brush, and then just draw a streak. It doesn't matter, it can't be perfect. Double click on it and remove the excess remove the excess nodes, right? And you can always reshape the nodes to fit what you really want to achieve. So in this case, something like this, you could always do this. Then you have this. And so once you've done that, you can reduce the size and you will give it maybe a lighter black. Yeah. And then power clip, right? Click on it and say power clip inside the box, right? And then it's in. Let's push it in a bit. I don't want the edges showing, so we bring it down like that, and it's done. And what else do we have to add? Let's add a thumbnail. It could be like TimothyXavier.com if that's your brand. TimothyXavier.com, as a watermark. If you don't have a logo, you can use something really nice like Nexa regular. Maybe reduce this to like 10, 9, 8, depends. It's 9. We could center this, or we could shift it, make it extreme, take it to this other side, put it here, make it grayish kind of. So we have the thumbnail there. And then one more thing we could do is, like I said, we could add, because the whole thing we need to create, just like we added the light around this image to create focus for it, we could also add like a dark edge around this. So to do this, we go back into the box, we select a rectangle, draw another box, and then we select this same tool, the B-spline, and we just do a random spline shape inside of the box. I'm doing this for the edges, so let it be away from the edges, but make it a bit random, don't make it just straight. So randomize the shape you're creating and join it back at the beginning. Now this shape you made, the whole shift, you select the original box you created, the first one, and then go to your properties bar and do a back minus front. We want to keep the back, then minus the front. The front areas are the areas where this shape you created that is in the front is. So when we do a back minus front, it's going to take away all these areas that the front area touches and the front shape touches, and then they are going to be empty. So do back minus front, and we are left with just this shape, right? So with this shape, we'll just give it a black, so you see. And then obviously it's very sharp, so we do what? We go back to the effects, and then we go to blur, and then we say Gaussian blur, and we're going to stroke this really hard so it kind of like blurs out very, very well. And yeah, we could extend this so the blur doesn't take too much of the space. Do that here too, you know. And let's go out. Yeah, so that's it. Looks really, really cool. If you have a logo to add, you could add it here. You could add a logo here if you have something to add. You could put it at the top there. You could come back here and make this whole thing come down a bit. Oh, it's slowing a bit. And so, like I said, you could add a logo if you have one. And I think that's the only thing I'm going to borrow. I'm allowed to borrow from here, so I'll just do Control C like this and go back here and do Control V. Now just center this, right? So borrow the logo from there. So we have this: no smoking, shisha allowed. As for this ones, you could change the colors to red. I don't really see the importance right now, but you could do that. You could do that for all the X's, right? Or you could leave it the way it is. All the X's. This is very, very manual. It's a bit hard. It's a bit hard. So and there we are done. So with this, I hope we are able to, I hope we'll be able to learn something. And if you really like this video, just leave a like and drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. I'll be dropping more videos like this, so stay tuned.